Hi Flosstubers, it's Katie the Stash Queen. My hair is a crazy mess today. But coming to you on July the 1st, the start of Wine and Whips. Yay! Before I get into the Wine and Whips, I do have a couple other little things to show you guys first. I did finish putting all of my beads into the bead storage unit that I showed you guys in the last video, and I love it. I love it, and I wanted to show it off. I've also got a little bit of haul to show. I told you guys in the very first video, haul is going to be a regular occurrence here. And then I'm going to talk about Wine and Whips and introduce you to which whips I'm going to be working on this month and show you the first whip for this first week. But we'll start off with the bead storage first. This, if for those of you that may need to remember, this is the tiny bead storage tray that I ordered. I got mine off of Amazon. They have been found at Joann's. They've been found at AC Moore. If you look at if they're, it's been found in several different places, and I highly recommend it. I didn't realize I had as many beads as I do until I kept pulling out the beads and kept adding them in. But here is the completed storage. Isn't it pretty with all of the lovely colors? And I have a few extra left, but they're going to be filled shortly. But it's nice and flat. It actually sits well within the my box that sits next to me when I am doing all of my stitching in my stitchy area. It's not the big, bulky, tall, round things, but it fits a lot more beads in here. I'll show you one of the little, if you look, the lid is attached with little clips so it stays well in place. And then just one of these little things, what I did is I used my label maker until I ran out of labels on my label maker, and did MH for Mill Hill and then whatever the number is, and they're all in numerical order in here, so it'll make it much easier, especially since I can have all of the beads sitting next to me. Ooh, we're gonna have flashes of light from the way the sun is in the windows today. Sorry. I can look really quickly and see what colors I already have in my stash, and then know what I need to order and what I don't, because some of what you're going to see in the haul is actually ended up being duplicate beads because I didn't realize I had them, because I had them stashed away somewhere and they weren't in the bead container because I wasn't happy with the bead container. And granted, yes, I'm a stash queen and I love having lots of stash, but if there's certain things that I don't need to buy stash for because I already have it in my stash, I'd rather save that money and apply it elsewhere. But you've got the little containers that are actually also sold individually at Joann's and places like that. The other place where we have found the tray, while it hits me, the empty tray has been available on firemountaingems.com, which is a great place to buy delicas, and if you do jewelry making, there's all sorts of fantastic beads and stuff there. But I guess you can buy the empty ones if you want to build your own. My delicas aren't in here yet for my chatelaine. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to buy a second one of these or if I'm going to use the storage that I already have, since I only have a few delicas and they're specifically for the chatelaines. I haven't quite decided yet. For now, they're still in their original containers in the chatelaine bag. But anyway, you have these little containers, they clip, you open them up, and then you've got all the lovely beads. And I'm pouring them out on my computer. Well done, Katie. But I'm very impressed with this at this point. I am really glad that I invested into this, and I highly recommend, if you are looking for a new bead storage system, that take a look at this because it's awesome. So there's that. Next, I have a little bit of haul that came in the mail. First, I got the latest edition of the Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. Yay! It's got some really interesting patterns and stuff in here this month. The artist that they really highlight actually is Jody Rice of Satsuma Street, which, if you know Satsuma Street, they've got all the pretty little cities that I love. I've got a few of them in my stash, and there is a pretty pattern from her in this month's issue that's a little bit of a departure from the cities, but I think that's really, really cute. And there's some other great patterns in here, so if you don't already subscribe to the magazine, it may be one that you want to look at picking up at your LNS or Barnes & Noble or wherever you get it. So there's that. The rest of this is a stash, is an order from 123 Stitch that I got that finished out the Joan Elliott, Faces of Joan Elliott, the flosses and the beads that I needed for that. So it came all the lovely little flosses and beads. I am making one substitution, which is kind of unheard of for me. I substitute floss all the time. I don't change patterns often. But there's one block in the Faces of Joan Elliott that just doesn't seem to fit with the rest, and anyone who's done this piece might recognize it as it's the cat face, which I understand why they did the cat face, but when you have 4 fairies and there's a dragon and a unicorn and a gorgeous, like, mystical looking peacock, the cat just kind of seems out of place. So I'm going to substitute the cat out for a different image that I will let be a surprise until I do it. But I went ahead and ordered the floss and the beads. I went through all of the different patterns for it so I can make sure I had all the beads and floss that I needed. So the 2 flosses that I ordered are both the DMC variegated threads. One is 4050. They're pretty yellows and greens, and the light's kind of acting up today. And then, because I'm doing this a whole lot earlier, and the other one is 4070. And then I got some Krynic that I was going to need for, and that's one thing I'm going to ask you guys. No, it's not a Dora the Explorer moment, but I'm curious how people store their Krynic. I have mine in one of my the plastic floss boxes now, just all piled in there, and that works okay, but it's not really convenient to look up and figure out what I have and that sort of thing. So I'm curious if you have an interesting way of storing your Krynic that makes it easily accessible, but also easy to see what you have. But the ones that I got, they're all number 4 very fine braids. One is 3533, which is really pretty purpley blue color. One is 015, which is another lovely little green. This one is 025, which is more of a silvery gray. And then this one is 028, which is a gold. And then I got beads. And so I think I had like 9 of the little containers left in my bead storage tray. And I ordered 11 packs, but a couple of these are duplicates of ones I already had. So hopefully I should be able to stay in there. But I got some 479, and there's some 2010, then there's some 2024, some 42031, the petite beads, 42014, more petites, 42010, and this is 3021, 2047, 42041, 557, and 42039. Whoops, let's just get that one again. So these are all the beads that should finish out my Faces of Joan Elliott stitch along. I think at this point I have all of the beads for any of my other whips, but I will take a look as they come up and make sure I have all of the beads ordered for them. So that is the haul that has come in. So this video is obviously going to be a whole lot shorter than my other ones. Just letting you know that now. I'm not going to stretch this next part out. Or I really hope I don't stretch this next part out for 30 minutes. That might be kind of overkill. So July 1 starts Wine and Whips in the Stitch Mania group. As I've mentioned before, the intention of this stitch along for this month is to help, after we've started all of these starts in May, and kind of use June to help recover. July has been dedicated to help us get motivated on whips of ours, whether they were started in Stitch Mania or we already had them in our rotations, in our stash and whatnot, that obviously we like them since we started them, but they make us whine and we have a hard time with them for whatever reason. It could be because the colors are, the section that we're working on is mundane. It could be because it's huge. It could be because it frustrated us for some reason when we started stitching it last. You know, those pieces every so often that look like they're going to be easy, but you have to frog it 1,000 times and you just don't get why. So I have picked my 4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 4 different the pictures of the patterns, or the finished pieces, not the patterns. The 4 of the finished piece pictures so you can see which four I'm going to pick, and then I'm going to show you the starting point of the one I'm going to start this week. I'm going to do 4 whips this month, 1st through the 7th, 8th through the 14th, 9th through the 21st, 22nd through the 28th, and then I'll just leave the last 2 days of the month or 3 days of the month that I don't have to do one if I don't want to. My intention is that I will do 1 hour on that whip per day, and I have to complete that 1 hour of that whip before I can continue on working on anything else. I figure that'll get me 7 hours in each of these whips, which is 7 hours more than where they are right now. If they happen to show up in the rotation, because a couple of these won't, but a couple of them might show up in a rotation week at some point in July. Obviously I can work on it a whole lot more than an hour in that day, but there's a reason these ones are kind of hard and frustrating for me. Well, for 3 of them. 1 I'm throwing in because I'm doing another stitch along at the end of the month. But you know, if I can do an hour on it, and then I can put it to the side and not feel guilty about putting it to the side, and pick up whatever whip is in my rotation and make progress on that one too. So the 4 whips that I have chosen for Wine and Whips. The first one is Angel of Compassion by Michelle Sayeda, or sorry, she's the Heaven and Earth Designs designer. It's by Selena Fennick for Heaven and Earth Designs. And it's this really gorgeous angel. She's beautiful. I love her. She's 1 in a set of 4. And she was my favorite of the 4. So that is going to be my first week. Second week is going to be the Butterfly Rose Crossed by Bridget Ashwood for Heaven and Earth Designs. And that's again another really gorgeous piece that I'm really looking forward to having finished one day. The third that I'm going to do for the 3rd week is going to be from the Dimensions Gold collection. It's the Skater's Village Tree Skirt. And here's what that looks like. And then the 4th one, I've started this piece. I haven't gotten very far in it. It's not so much one that makes me whine yet. I was having a hard time picking a 4th one, but I'm a member also on Facebook of the Disney Dreams collection group, and they are doing a stitch along the last 2 weeks of the month in a similar sort of Wine and Whips type capacity to help motivate us to work on one of our, or any of our Disney Dreams pieces that we may be having problems with or struggling with. So I picked the Little Mermaid because I'm not as far along on that one. And so that's the one I'm going to do the 4th week, and probably those extra last 3 days at the end of the month because it's part of that stitch along. So there are my 4 whips for Wine and Whips, and I will show you Angel of Compassion, where I'm starting today. And then next Wednesday, when it starts a new week for Wine and Whips, I will show you the progress that I've made on this one, just like I will for my whips of the week, and show you. And then I'll wait until next week to show you the starting points from the following them. But here is where this one is at this point. That's all Krynic, I've mentioned before, with a little bit of DMC thrown in there. But this is definitely a piece that makes me whine because there's so much Krynic. It's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna be sparkly. It's gonna be beautiful. I love the pattern, but yeah, it makes me whine. So I'm gonna start working on that this week and work on it for the next, for 7 hours for the next week. And we'll see how far I can get on it. That's going to be it for me today. Next time I will have my, it should be Sunday. If I have any haul, I'll show haul. I will do my week in review. I'll do my whips for the upcoming week. I will do my next installment of my stash video, which will be Under the Sea Fabrics, my stash of that. And I have a tag that I'm going to need to go and look up and be ready to answer for next time too. So I think that's it today. I hope everyone has a wonderful stitchy day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!